Hi, I'm Vinny, and this is Vinny's View. Sorry I'm not in the van right now. I know that's where I've been telling you I'm going to broadcast from, but I had to see this movie at night, basically, and got in the van, and it was a little too dark. I mean, I ordered my elaborate lighting package, but it really just hasn't come yet for the van, so had to get in the car and drive here as quickly as possible because I promised I would just give reviews right as soon as I was done with the movie. So here I am. I made it home, ready to go. So I saw The Soloist, and I wanted to see it on the first day that it came out. So I'm trying to do that as much as I can, especially with movies that are supposedly really terrific movies like The Soloist. So I saw The Soloist, starring Jamie Foxx and Robert Downey Jr. and Catherine Keener as well. She's a terrific actress. I like her as well. It was quite a movie. It was very realistic. It was set in L.A. It's based on a real story, a true story of basically it's a story about Robert Downey Jr.'s character who plays a real life writer for the L.A. Times, and he meets up with Jamie Foxx's character, who is a homeless man who is on the streets. And he hears him playing the violin, and he notices that maybe there's some talent there, and he is kind of seeking out a story, and it starts basically as a story for his column, and it really turns into quite a special relationship between the two of them, and I thought it was a very interesting story, especially since it was a real story. I saw it on 60 Minutes. They did a piece on it as well, so. But I thought it was a terrific film, especially given the fact that you had these two amazing actors playing off of each other, and I thought that was the real appeal of this movie. But it's a pretty incredible story. I mean, it's basically Robert Downey Jr. is the movie starts off where he's actually in a bad accident. He's injured. I think they've tried to make him look like he's really kind of down and out a bit, and I think basically he kind of finds himself while trying to help out this homeless man, and trying to help him out, and trying to help him find his gift again, which is his gift of music. And his backstory is basically that he's quite a musician. He's a Julliard. He went to Julliard, and he somehow fell on bad times, and he had mental illness, obviously, and it really took over his life, and he wasn't unable to really finish at Julliard, and basically he wound up on the streets in L.A. And I think as much as Robert Downey Jr.'s character was trying to help him, I think in the end, I think he ended up really kind of saving himself and helping himself. So it was as much a story of him helping this homeless man as well as it was helping to find himself, really. This movie was really kind of a character study on these two characters, and but as much as it was that, it was really really focused attention on the amazingly dreadful homeless problem that there is in LA. I've been to LA many times, and there really are a lot of homeless there, and the realism in which they depicted the homeless problem in LA was really kind of striking and almost scary. I've really never seen it depicted in a movie quite like it was in this movie. I mean, you've seen homeless people sort of as background in the movie, in some movies. The homeless people in this movie were the foreground. They were the blanket of the movie. They were as much a part of the movie as the two characters in the movie, and I've never seen it depicted like this in a movie, and it was quite realistic. Because if you ever go to L.A., I mean, you see the most beautiful scenery, the most beautiful, there's some real beauty to the city, especially down by the beach in Santa Monica. But you're walking through these gorgeous parks, and it's just strewn. There's just homeless people everywhere, and it really is an issue. And they tried to face it head on in the movie a little bit, but it's such a problem that I think they seem to make it seem like it was a very difficult thing to solve, a difficult problem to solve. You know, the heart of this movie really comes from its two stars, which is Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he's had some troubled times in his life. I couldn't be happier to see how he's come back over the past couple of years. He's really done some terrific work. I mean, last year was, I call it the year of Robert Downey Jr. He was just amazing, and I mean, Tropic Thunder was unbelievable. I mean, his portrayal in that movie was amazing and funny. And maybe I'll review the video on that. I just think he was unbelievable in that movie. And of course, Iron Man. I mean, what would Iron Man be without Robert Downey Jr.? I think Iron Man was it? I loved Iron Man. I mean, to be honest with you, it was the most amazing movie. And again, I mean, could you picture the movie without him? You know, for this movie, again, he was tremendous. He shows such amazing depth and diversity. I mean, he's funny and he draws you in. And I think, part of what he had to show in this movie was his character was a character that did not want to commit in his life. He didn't really want to put himself out there. I mean, he was divorced from Catherine Keener. Catherine Keener played his editor in the movie, and he still worked with her, but he was divorced from her. And obviously, as the movie went along, you could see that he had problems committing. He had problems committing to her, and as the movie went along, and it became a burden to kind of take care of this homeless man and be his friend, and try to help this man, that he would have to give more of himself to do that. And I mean, the way he portrayed himself pulling back and not wanting to give himself to be totally in control of this man, and taking him in as a friend. It was pretty amazing how he does that. And he's a tremendous actor. And on the flip side, Jamie Foxx, I mean, I think he's just a great actor. I mean, he loses himself in characters. He's lost him. I mean, I just couldn't find him in there. I mean, when you're watching a movie and you forget who the actor is, I mean, I think that's a pretty good indication that he's doing a great job. And it was not an easy job to do, because if he went too far with it, it wouldn't feel realistic. And I think to play the schizophrenic man that he did, and he really did it in an amazing way. And again, I think I got lost in his character, and I just couldn't see him in there anymore. And he was absolutely brilliant. The two of them together were great, and there was just some great emotional scenes in the movie. And I really thought it was a special bond between the two of them that I really haven't seen in many movies, and you don't see too often. So they were a tremendous team, and again, I think Catherine Keener did a very good job as well. And I think, as the movie went along, Jamie Foxx's character grew to as far as he can grow, and as far as he can get better. He obviously couldn't get better. He has mental illness, and he was pretty much got as far as he could. I think him being befriended by Robert Downey Jr.'s character helped him get to a point. But I think ultimately the people that were helped the most were the reporter, Downey's character, and Catherine Keener, and they actually seemed to like they were getting back together again. And I think they learned more from Jamie Foxx's character than I think maybe he got from them. So it was a very interesting movie in that right. So what should you do about The Soloist? Should you go see it? I think you should see it. I think I'm gonna give it. Here's the rating. See it, especially if you are a fan of Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. I think it's worth seeing just for them. Is it a great movie? It's not a great movie. It's a very good movie. It's very well made, very realistic. It feels realistic. It's a real story. I think that helps. It doesn't try to be too much. It doesn't try to send you over the top and be too emotional. I think it just presents the story as it is, and with those two characters and with those two great actors, it pulls it off. And I think you will enjoy it if you like those two actors and really just like to watch great performance. And I think that's the reason to see it. So I would say see it for Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx together. Could be some Oscar buzz. I would think if anyone got Oscar buzz, and it's kind of early in the year to get Oscar buzz, but if anyone got Oscar buzz, I would think maybe a little more for Jamie Foxx. But they were both terrific, so I would say see it. And that was Vinny's View. Thanks for tuning in again, and I'm going to try to see a lot of movies this week, so hopefully I'll get you another one and I'll do it in the car. I know you like the minivan. Okay, take care. Thank you.